Ashafone for memo kwaba edoba daily update. So then I will show you medina. Now subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share and follow comment section. A year and komobi and ababontin say operation recover all loot no. Sa agenda we agenda bia ehia mahama ye pa because when I say omo ma we loot ni nyina wo the previous government etwa mu ni nyina no obema o ma so ayeden ayeshi. Enti ora na kasa ne cheze operation recover all loot say there was because of mass arrest that best started 4th June. A lot of them state looters are under Kufuado time no. Or mama say up with the state loot the komomo. And besides no, after that no, a year Musi 7 wanted to fly out. Yes, person fly out because of the mass arrest. 4th June or say ebebasono. Internal state loot and the Kufuado amasi up at the state loot a year officer or marshal here then sorry or my massy up a year operation recover all loot officer or more handing over a stolen items nisika or more just what to escape arrest and also so that they can able to travel and run out from the country. You can go see more details. Emra, stay tuned.
She will have to come back and be dealt with on this matter as well as she okayed for the variation from having your security person travel with you or have your husband and daughter travel with you and then the per diem angle and so on. I understand there are some people Operation Recover All Loot who are now willing to pay back their loot and so on. In fact, people are rushing. There's a mad rush to pay the loot. So if they are minded to also refund those monies, that would be good. The next thing is that 4th June is coming. You know 4th June is coming. Yeah. Mass arrest will happen. 4th June. It will be chaotic.
I'm not taking your word seriously because
there's a deadline. Operation Recover All Loot. You haven't heard that people are flying out of town. I heard about 6 or 7 went last week to Brussels. Many are, have more tickets. Look, I'm telling you, whatever it is, and in this particular instance, that so-called, what do you call it, single source contract that the Chief Justice is alleged engineered for a company known as what? Design 37.
Yes.
Oh, so that's your company name. The company name you were responding to in the morning.
No,
I mean in the beginning of the show.
Do you know the funny thing? Most of the corruption scandals, the companies that they choose,
All right.
there was one called Talent Sons of the boss.
Yes.
That's just so funny names. Everyone decided to steal our money.
Can you please wrap up for us? So that I
so if indeed it is true, I haven't seen those documents and I have not heard her attest to those. But if indeed it is true, and someone says that there's no prima facie case, I think the person is mad. That's what I'm saying.
So the school of thought is not only about the fact that there's no prima facie case, but also
if the evidence exists.
The whole process is undue. It's unfounded.
Who said that?
I mean, school of thoughts.
No, when you say school of thought, you're mentioning it.
I have mentioned it.
Look, you see, the Constitution says that you must be of sound mind to occupy some positions. Atachia should never have been MP.
And you have the facts.
If you are of sound mind,
that he is not of sound mind.
No. You are of sound mind. Tell me.
I am of sound mind.
Yeah, okay, let's leave it.
You have his medical record.
No, I'm saying that we must take this sound mind constitutional listen ethic very seriously.
It's getting
It's a requirement, though.
It's getting more exciting in here. Thought-provoking, very insightful as well. Facebook.
Who in the NDC or within the presidency can just go and move Mr. Daniel Ofori about and tell him that Mr. Ofori, we want you to go and do our bidding? Who? In fact, his political lineage is to the NPP. So if there was anybody that wanted to play politics with the removal of the CJ, I don't think Daniel Ofori would ever allow himself to be used by this administration to get rid of the Chief Justice. If you read what he has said, the petition he sent, he raises 21 allegations of misbehavior. 21! 4 allegations of incompetence. So you cannot just throw it away like that. And mind you, his allegations are centered on a case that is currently in court involving himself as Daniel Ofori versus Ecobank. And if you take your time and go and read how the case started somewhere in 2008 and still is pending in court, it will tell you that there are certain matters that has to be addressed. And I see Daniel Ofori's petition as a petition that can liberate the business community in this country, that can liberate investors in this country, depending on how it goes. So we must always not throw away concerns of people. After all, he is operating within the confines of the law. The law allows any citizens. And I also disagree with anybody that thinks that it must be difficult to remove a chief justice. It must be the easiest job. It must be easy to remove the president of the land. It must be so easy to remove the Speaker of Parliament. I want the Speaker of Parliament to be removed. You remember the committee that he set on the MPs that went and destroyed chairs and microphones? What has happened to it?
Pendream decided not to. In fact, he and his NPP caucus decided to boycott and make it impossible. They said they were going to make Parliament ungovernable, disruptive, and so on.
Yeah,
so
they did not.
And the chief justice, the speaker that is supposed to act sat aloof. So if I petition,
complicity or irresponsibility.
absolutely. So if I say I'm going to petition for his removal, why must it be difficult for the speaker to be removed?
But then
You have 2 options here.
But that's fine. That's
complicity or irresponsibility.
But then why
ending words?
It must not be. It must not be. Is it difficult to put in place a chief justice?
No.
The president nominates in consultation with the Council of State. The nominee goes to Parliament. He or she is vetted. She becomes a chief justice. Is it complicated? Why must it be difficult to remove it?
Once there's a prima facie.
And then the prima facie has been established. Nobody is interrogating the threshold for which that prima facie case was established. But that is also not the problem of the President and the Council of State, because the Constitution does not mandate them to make it public to us. And just like a PDA was saying, why would anybody that believes in the rule of law now call for the proceedings to be held in the full glare of the public when the Constitution says it has to be held in camera? And the Chief Justice, the embattled Chief Justice, had known this all this while. What has been her position on this matter? So at best, what anybody calling for openness could do is to write a proposal to the Constitutional Review Committee so that the amendments or the revisions that they are envisaging will include making the processes of removing any Chief Justice open to the general public. But for now, you cannot just in the middle of the ocean come and tell us that we must disregard the Constitution. When the embattled Chief Justice has already told us the law is the law. No matter how furious you are, the law is the law. We subject ourselves to judges for them to do anything. You are being trained as a lawyer. I go to court a lot. And when you go there, sometimes the humiliation, the judge that will be speaking to you as though he or she was created in a different world. Sometimes they speak garbage. But we take it as the gospel truth because they are mandated under the law to do what they are doing. We have been disagreeing with them all this while, but you can't kill them. You can't do anything because they are operating.
But you have the right under the Constitution and Article 2 to, if you have any challenge, to seek redress.
A lot of rights.
The Supreme Court.
We have a lot of rights under the Constitution.
Or even administrative injustice.
That is why this one I was telling you that the laws are meant for the poor. It is not for the rich. Because if
but there are institutions that have been put in place to protect you.
The Constitution and Article 36 tells you that the state shall take all necessary action to ensure that national economy is managed in such a manner as to maximize the rate of economic development to secure the maximum welfare, freedom and happiness of every person. And are you happy this morning? What it means is that if your pocket is dry, you must be able to.
That's under the directive of state principles of state.
Have you been able to actualize this?
But I'm saying that if you have a problem, with the judicial system or how some administrative processes did not go your way, you can read Article 33.
I have been petitioning them. A lot of judges, they don't deserve to go nearer. They not just below, they must not even go closer to becoming judges.
And you have the right to.
But the rights are not respected by people. That's why you need cleansing of the judiciary.
Reset.
I'm telling you.
Not the cleansing of the revolution.
Using the legal means itself to clean it. The threshold for a judge, the bar, must be so high.
Yeah.
They are kron. You know kron, where are they?
Holy
Chief Justice. If what we are told by the Daily Post is anything to go by, though I have cited some documents to that effect, then the woman has a lot of issues to deal with. I had advised in the early days, knowing what I know on the street, that she would have been better served by quietly negotiating and exiting office.
You mean resign?
Resigning. You understand? Because see, government has the machinery to be able to dig you in and out. The judiciary, the people that you are there with, you have a lot of enemies with this. So everybody that was happy that Chief Justice talk on it was at position. So some of your omissions and commissions will definitely be known by them, and they will be willing to leak. And let us not also forget that the decision of the petition to remove this Chief Justice or the embattled Chief Justice started under President Akufo-Addo. Professor Kwaku-Azan's petition was solid enough, but the former president played with it. If you go and read the reason why a prima facie case was not established, according to President Akufo-Addo, you will laugh. He spent more time castigating Professor Kwaku-Azan for making the petition available when Professor Kwaku-Azan said he did not make it available to the general public. And that the president was looking for laws within our statutes that can punish Professor Kwaku-Azan for even allowing his petition to be made public. He wasn't concerned about the gravity of the issues that Professor Kwaku-Azan was raising, but rather how the thing managed to get into the public domain. But if I bring you a petition, if I bring a petition to the presidency and it gets leaked, can you blame Professor Kwaku-Azan alone for leaking it? Can't it be a situation where it came from you, or it could come from anywhere? The president was majoring in the manners.
Or the council of state.
Please come back for us, sir.
Some Okujeto who was the head.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So clearly, there is something in motion, and I'm so happy. And at the end of the day, it is fairness that some of us are looking out. But that the woman has to be treated in all fairness. But if I were her, she still has an opportunity to resign and go home and enjoy her retirement. But if she will still follow these lawyers, these NPP guys who have tasted power and knows how sweet it is, and think that with these 2x4 they can come back to power when the movement for change is now metamorphosing into a political party, then I'm afraid they are not going to get anywhere.
Right. Thank you very much, Solo. We are still discussing the CJ removal and that Chikata Voma was represent petitioners for this case. Dr. Marzuk is coming in. After his submission, I'm going to read the messages that are coming through on Facebook, on WhatsApp. And so you can be sending your messages as well while the submissions are flowing.
Until those allegations are proven by a legitimately constituted commission or body, let's give her every opportunity to defend herself. And if she wants to listen to Solo, which I also suggest, I think it is good for her. If she wants to listen to Solo and listen to me,
Don't listen to us.
then she should resign.
And the NPP someone has sent me something. The reason why people want this thing to be made public, as in like shown on TV, to be shown on TV.
Yes.
They want this thing to engage the attention of Ghanaians, so not only for them to play political football, but to divert attention from the ECG container scandal and the various other scandals, including the Operation Recover All, because Ghanaians will glue to a single issue and then they can walk off. Thank you very much, but it won't happen.
All right, so thank you. But if it will not happen, you should also start prosecuting those people.
Yes.
Yeah, you are sure.
The tribunals are coming.
Yes.
When are they coming?
Progressive. Let them come.
When are they
It's a
coming?
movement.
I thought you were going to tell me the people have come. As for our coming progressive, we are not interested in that. We want a situation where
Government now.
Now.
Tell government now.
Yes. Now, what do you for?
Yes.
So you have earmarked June 4th for that action.
Oh, June 4th is a good day.
Oh, that's validation. That's very, very, very valid.
Let's also not use constitutional means to glorify an unconstitutional conduct.
Yes.
By some by June 4.
But June 4, we know what we celebrate on June 4. So if you want to,
you were talking about trying.
After praising him for hard work, for competency, I appeal to him to return the nation to constitutional order.
Stands for probity and accountability.
Oh, but what probity and accountability did it?
No, don't worry. I said independence of Ghana. What I said, what us?
No,
but it stands for freedom and justice.
So every event stands for something. That's what I'm saying. You see, I started by saying that accountability. Yes. Who accounted to who? To who?
She's going to account to us.
So please, I mean, the Chief Justice should be given every opportunity to defend herself, and those who are trying to politicize everything should desist from that. Again, we are talking of I'm surprised. I don't want to believe that the Chief Justice actually made a suggestion that is contrary to the constitutional provision. I don't want to believe that. But if she did, then we could pardon her, maybe out of frustration. Yeah, of course, because yes, the chief administrator.
We have to be very empathetic.
Look, even I. Yes, even I.
Thinking straight.
Remember.
That's not what we are doing. That's how we know you are misconstruing the whole thing.
No,
he's trying to say out of frustration. I mean, out of frustration, you can say and do things.
Somebody got some shakes to do some bad thing. And he said he was not thinking straight.
No,
it was not sound right.
We can't pardon her. I agree with Dr. Morris. We can't pardon her. If she actually made this.
It's just simple mischief.
Sound like
I will appeal on the right one. I'm even using an if clause, a conditional clause. In the first place, I don't even believe that she said that. Yes, I don't believe that. But if she did, then we could pardon her because that could be out of frustration. I cannot understand how I don't know how to understand how.
Imagine being in her shoes right now, and so maybe we'll give her the benefit of the doubt. She being a certain. She didn't say that. Okay.
Are you now her defense lawyer? Are you a defense lawyer?
It's actually a very
abusua na wo hwa na wa subscribe share na fa comment so share dwumade na asema e baje bre na aka matifo ene hwefo nyina ama oso ate abusua. Stay tuned, stay connected. I daily update so we give you the best.